So hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's been a bit, but I've been a mom. I've been trying out this whole thing they call being a parent, and it's been taking up a lot of time, and I'm really glad I actually took the time to really adjust to Remy and let her adjust to myself. Obviously my husband and I both had to adjust to it. Our whole families had to adjust to it, meaning like the dogs and the cats. So we took those first couple of months of Remy's life adjusting to each other. So I'm back now. I'm really happy to be back. And I've learned a lot in these past 6 months. A lot of women talk about postpartum. I think that I do have a postpartum journey to share. Different things that I went through, what my body went through, what Remy and I together went through. From month 1 to where I'm at now, it's completely different. There's different symptoms. There are different things that happened in the beginning that are not happening now. There are different things that are happening now that didn't happen in the beginning. And I wanted to get on here, I wanted to share those experiences with you and tell you a little bit more about my postpartum recovery. So I have my computer here, so if you see me looking down, it's because I am kind of looking at what I wrote down. I haven't really watched a postpartum video, so I don't really have an idea of exactly what I should touch base on, but I guess what I'm gonna do for you is just kind of tell you about things that I felt were important in my postpartum recovery process that I thought would be really pivotal to share with you guys. But again, this may follow a guideline that no other mom out there has ever followed, so if it makes no sense to you, sorry about that. But if it does, awesome, that I'm doing well. The first thing that I want to talk about is my breastfeeding experience, which I think is actually really important and part of postpartum. With breastfeeding, it was very easy for me in the beginning, and I actually kind of entered into motherhood very stress-free. It was really bizarre. I think it might have been because my hormones were not leveled out yet, but I entered into motherhood and breastfeeding Remy very easily. Soon as she came out of the womb, and we tried our first time breastfeeding and we kind of experiencing that with each other. It was very smooth. She latched on right away. I was very comfortable with it, which I was kind of actually surprised about because I didn't think that I would be able to breastfeed due to my small breast size. I think that's kind of like a weird myth that some, small breasted women think, but that was something that I thought would be an issue. And it wasn't actually. We did really, really well together. I was producing enough milk to sustain her and to feed her and to keep her healthy, and everything was great. A month in or so, I noticed that she was, not that she wasn't latching, she was latching, but I noticed that she was eating less but more frequent times, and that made my supply fluctuate even more. So I actually integrated pumping into my feeding schedule with Remy, and that was really hard for me because I felt like after I was feeding her, I was pumping right away, and then by the time I was done pumping, I felt like she was waking up and she was hungry again. It was really crazy because I was trying to get a schedule down with breastfeeding Remy, and like I said, I'm a new mom. I had no idea what I was doing. I still don't really know what I'm doing, but that was kind of a hard part for me in regards to postpartum was, getting in sync with my body in regards to breastfeeding. So as the months progressed, now we're on month 6, almost month 7, we did go through some hardships together in regards to breastfeeding. There was I want to say a solid 3 weeks, Remy did not want to breastfeed at all. She did not want to do it. Every time I would put her to my boob, it was like she pushed back. She just did not want it. So I was pumping non-stop. I mean, I literally was pumping non-stop. I have 3 different pumps, not kidding you. 3 different pumps. I'm sorry, she's downstairs. Char's feeding her right now, so if you hear it, she's just having a good time. But I was pumping nonstop. I mean, I was pumping throughout the night. It was just exhausting for me. I actually didn't share this on our daily channel too much because I wanted to try and touch base on it here a little bit more. Maybe it would fit you guys a little bit better. But anyways, I found that I was just pumping all the time, and it just was exhausting for me. I wouldn't say that I lost hope, but I would be lying to you if I said I wasn't just like so overwhelmed with that process. And after a solid 3 weeks, it ended up stopping and Remy started breastfeeding again. I still pump, we still breastfeed. I did through that 3 week period, almost 4 weeks I should say, I did notice that my milk supply was fluctuating a lot, even though I was pumping way more than I had ever pumped before. And that stressed me out a lot too. I'd have days where I felt like I was pumping for 30 minutes on both sides consistently, and I was getting like an ounce to 2 ounces of milk. It was really kind of crazy, but that weighed down on me. However, it did pass. Remy started breastfeeding again. My milk supply is back to normal. Everything is back to normal. Remy is more of a breastfeeder rather than a bottle feeder, and we have finally, by this 6-month, 7-month period, we are in sync. Everything is wonderful in that area. Now, I think a lot of women in regards to postpartum, they talk about their bodies and they have that kind of recovery process. I was fortunate enough to where my body bounced back really quickly, and that was great. I felt really good. I was tired, but I wasn't exhausted. But I noticed that as the months passed, my weight started to fluctuate again, which was really interesting. I started to gain a little bit more weight, and nothing uncomfortable, nothing that I'm uncomfortable sharing about, nothing that I am uncomfortable with. But I did notice that at about 3 to 4 months, my weight started getting a little wonky again, and I am over my normal weight, but I am not unhappy with it. Okay, another part of the my postpartum recovery actually had to do still with my body, not necessarily my weight, but kind of the aches and pains that came with having a baby. I want to say it was about like a month after I gave birth to Remy. Maybe I was just like so stuck in parent mode and like being a new mom and not really sleeping that I didn't notice it the first month. But I know that about after the first month passed, I started noticing that my joints were hurting, and primarily my hips. I had so much pain in my right hip. It was horrible, horrible. I would sit certain ways and I just like, I would be sitting there and I'm like, oh my God, Charles, I feel like my hips popping out of place. This is so miserable. And it would be shooting pain. And it was, if I moved any which way, it would hurt, and I almost felt like I had to like pop it back into place. It was really bizarre, really weird. It's still going on, but it's not as consistent as it was like the first couple of months. So it was like a little past the first month to like, I would say like month 4 is when I had that consistent pain in my hip, and it was awful. Oh my God, it was so awful. I can't even explain it to you. I'm sure mamas out there know exactly what I'm talking about. It comes and goes now. I think it's maybe because my body's still adjusting and still going back together, you know, going back to its form prior to having Remy. Another thing that I have been experiencing is hair loss. It's kind of funny. After having Remy, my hair was fabulous. Obviously, being pregnant, my hair was fabulous. Oh my gosh, I felt like it was the most beautiful it's ever been in my entire life. And then after having Remy, I was really good. And then I think it was about 4 months. 4 months was like the number that was kind of hard for me because a lot of things happened around 3 to 4 months. But once, it was like 3 months and 3.5 weeks, almost to that 4-month mark, and my hair just started falling out. At first it wasn't that bad, it was just falling out a little bit, almost kind of like if you were brushing your hair and a little bit comes out. Nothing too crazy. And then every time I washed my hair, I would run my hands through it and just hair was coming out, and I was freaking out. I thought I had something going on internally with me. I ended up going to the doctor and they're like, no, this is just part of postpartum. This is what happens. It's because you have all these hormones and they're trying to go back to normal, blah, blah, blah. So my hair was falling out, and it did it for a long time. I want to say the past 2 weeks is when it's just stopped. Like now my hair doesn't fall out and it's been really wonderful. But prior to that, from like 4 months up until about 2 weeks ago, my hair was falling out and it was just so hard. My hair is back right now because it's still, you know, I'm trying not to do anything hot on it or do a hot iron or blow dry it or anything like that right now because I want to kind of get it back to where it was prior to it falling out. I don't know if that's gonna happen, but I'm hopeful. I am using some products. I'll definitely do a video on some post-pregnancy products that I'm really, really loving. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comment section down below. But anyways, hair loss was something that I did experience after having Remy. My skin, however, has actually not been too bad. It's been a little dry. I can't say that it's been awful. I've had a little bit of acne, but nothing too crazy. I'm really super thankful for that. I try to keep a really great skincare regimen, especially after having baby. That's something that my OB actually recommended to me. She said those things might change, and she really pushed me to drink a lot of water and to really make sure that I'm getting enough sleep, but I'm not doing that. But she did say with like skincare routines, that was kind of a concern of mine. She really helped me out with that, and I've actually done really, really well with my skin maintaining a clear face. I've had a clear face after pregnancy, and I'm really thankful for that. So that wasn't something too bad for me. So that is it for my postpartum recovery update. I'm not really sure if it made sense to everybody. Again, I've never really watched a postpartum update, so I don't know if I shared everything I should have shared. I don't know if I shared things I shouldn't have shared, but that's kind of where I'm at. I think every day is a new day, and I think that there's new challenges that pop up every single day that weren't there the day before. That's kind of what I was trying to integrate throughout the entire vlog today. Things are constantly changing, not necessarily in a bad way, but not necessarily in a good way. I'm just kind of rolling with the punches and going day by day with it. And I'm glad that I waited to share it, because again, there was a lot of changes that happened later on in Remy's life. There, that's good. Later on in Remy's life to myself that weren't happening in the first couple of months of her being around. I think postpartum is going to be, it's a long process. I think it takes some time, but all in all, I'm doing pretty well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's vlog. Thank you so much for tuning in. I have another vlog coming up Thursday, so please make sure you do check back in then. If you have any recommendations for vlogs that you would like to see, please put them in the comment section down below. If you are brand new, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and I will see you guys next time. Bye guys.